If you're on YouTube, you wouldn't get to ask questions. That's the only difference. Okay, good afternoon, traders. We're live on YouTube. Let's go, guys. In 3 minutes, we'll start. Everybody is here? So we shouldn't have a problem today. It's live on YouTube, right? Let's go. Did I manage to get Dijon in the panelist? So, okay, guys, in 2 minutes, we'll start. We're trying to get everybody online and in the room. I'm on the Euro USD trade we put on yesterday. We were active in that trade. So when we start, I'll show you the account and we'll go from there. Okay, I managed to get Dijon there. I'm looking for one more person or two more person that I can make panelists to help with the questions. So, okay, guys, we have a minute, so let me give you a rundown very fast what we're going to do today and what we're going to do in a minute. If you're just typing something for chat, type it to the general public, panelist and attendee. If you're sending a question that you really want to get attended, send it to panelist only. Right? Send it to panelist only. I have one person in there who will handle the question. Dijon, you'll remind me of what question to look at. And let me see if I can get one or two more people in. I'm trying to find among that huge list, find my traders. It's a huge one, so it's. Let me see if I have anybody at the bottom here that. Yes. Okay, let me just. Oh, you're moving away so fast. But let me see if I can manage. Okay, that's an. Let me get you. I feel you can help 1 second. Let me just get him. Okay, let's go. Let's start. So we're on YouTube. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this live session. It's going to be a long session, about 3 hours. No need to rush when you're trading. You should never rush. Take your time. The chart is not going away. Nothing is going away. You're not losing anything, right? Welcome to everyone. I'm glad you're here. So finally, we don't have a problem with the room. My apologies once more. Let's go. So we took this trade yesterday. Let's open the account. We put an entry order on the euro yesterday. Let's start with the trades we had on. I had 2 trades on yesterday. I had the silver trade. You can see I closed the silver trade for a small loss of 900 here, 800 euros. The reason I closed it is because I told you I'll do that. So let me show you the silver trade, why I closed it. I showed you this, and I'm sorry, not this one, silver. Let's go to silver. I showed you that up move, and I said when it comes to the top here, if it starts to break, I'll close it. I closed the trade here, and I re-enter the trade here. So as you can see, closed at the top, re-enter at the bottom there. Why did I re-enter? Remember, I said as soon as it breaks this low, I'm going to re-enter that trade. So if you look at the account, what you see is I closed it here and I re-enter. So I'm back in profit 900, right? I closed it for 800 loss, back in profit. That's not the profit I'm looking for. Those are just getting in, fine-tuning the entry point based on wave analysis, trying to get in at the best point every time, right? So the first one we closed because that didn't go. This one didn't go, so I closed it. I'm taking this one. If this one doesn't go, I'll close it too, right? Because there's still a chance for silver to come here, drop there, and go back up, right? Still that chance. We're not going to go into details into the pattern. That's what I see. Basically, that's what I see. I'm not going to go details in the pattern why I see that. This is a live trading session. It's not a teaching session. So let's go. Next one was the euro. The next trade I had on was the euro Swiss. Yeah, euro Swiss. And like I told you guys, if it's not going to go, I'm going to close the euro Swiss. So the euro Swiss came sell at this point. I close it here. I call that break-even trade. It's 1,500 euros only. That's not the trade I'm looking for. That's less than 0.1%. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for like 3-4% in a trade if I risk a percent. This one we risk 1%, so that's a break-even trade for me. I closed it here because I saw the possibility of this going back up, and there's a good chance it's going to come all the way to the top here before they drop. So if I'm not looking for the buy, the reason I'm not looking for the buy is because this is a corrective structure up. I'll be looking for the sell setup. Now, I would ask that you guys try not to type a lot because I'm not going to answer any question right now. Try to avoid typing too much. The noise is disturbing a lot of people. Those of you who don't want to see the chat, you can actually remove it from your charts so it doesn't block your view. Good. You can actually just take it off. You see my chart doesn't have any chat in it. So what I'm expecting this to do is to climb, and then I'll be looking for a sell here again. So that would be like the second sell. Let's go. Those are the two trades that I had on. That's what we did. So if you look at the account, you can see that I have from 60 to 1.4. That's the 1.4 I made on the Swiss. That's a break-even trade for me. That's not profit. Don't count that as a profitable trade. This morning, I took another trade here. I took a sell on the pound Swiss, which I closed for 2,000 loss, 2,008 loss. That is a break-even trade as well because that's much less than a percent, right? So it's kind of a trade that didn't go, so you take it off. I'm going to show you guys that trade, why I took that trade, and where is it? So let's go to pound Swiss. Where's my pound Swiss? Is right here. So what I saw was this pattern of a possibility of this coming down from here, that coming down here before they go back up. I'm looking for a flat pattern here and then it goes. So what they did is they took me in, 1 second, sorry about that. Took me in right to this level, went back up there and I closed it because once it didn't do what I wanted to do, this was a very small trade. This would have given me probably 1.5 to 1. So once it didn't do what I wanted to do, I just closed it. I'm not going to wait to take a 1% loss or so on that. I think it was about 0.5% risk. So I just closed the trade physically. I'm still looking for that trade, but now instead of a regular flat, I'm looking for an running flat. So that means this is going to come here and then go. So now I'm not interested in this sell because this sell does not have a risk to reward. I'll be looking for the buy. So I'm looking for that buy now. Let it come down here and then I would look for the buy. This morning was a good risk to reward from where it was. Now it's not. So that trade is out for sell today. We're going to look at the buy of that. Let's go. Next one. Trades that I put on. Those were the 3 trades. This was the loss. So trades that I put on this morning. I put on a pound CAD. Let's start with the top. We are in the euro still. I'm not going to close the euros yet. We'll come to when I'm going to close the euro. Pound CAD. I'm in the pound CAD sell. Let's see why I'm selling the pound CAD so you guys can look at that. Pretty much. Pound CAD, if you look at a bigger picture on the 4-hour or in the daily, on the daily, I think pound CAD is actually going to go down in the daily. The question is this the downside, or is it going to still make one? Is it going to do this? Is it going to come somewhere here, go back up like that, and then go down, right? We're not going to go, like I said, I'm not going to do details of patterns. This is just for trading. This has nothing to do with learning. So let's go 1 hour. As you can see, it's coming down. We broke at a very nice flag here. I saw it a bit late. I was actually tracking it, but I got distracted. And by the time I saw it, it was here. I should have sold it here, but I ended up selling it somewhere here. So as you can see right now, I'm slightly negative in that. That negative is just 1 pip. So don't let the 100, that's 1 pip. When I click a trade, I get about 2 or 3 pips on a pound CAD. So I've already covered the thing, right? So I'm expecting this to go. If it goes, we will keep the trade. If this trade starts to show me sign like it's going to be a correction here, this is just going to be a correction here to go back up. We'll close the trade somewhere here, like the Euro Swiss. But the reason I take this one is because I think potentially this could go down totally, right? That's the longer term picture. Longer term picture means correction is over. As I look at it right now, I don't know that the correction is over. We're not going to go into the details as to why, but I don't think it's over. I think they may retest the top. Just in case I'm wrong, I'm taking that trade. Every sell opportunity I get in a pattern like this, I'm going to go for the sell, right? I think you can see why. And just so you know, impulse, correction, impulse. That's my sell opportunity. Let's see if it goes. Sometimes the correction gets very complex. Excuse me. You guys will have to excuse me for the coughing because I have a cold. I don't want to say excuse every time I cough, so just excuse me once and for all. Let's go. We're looking at this sell opportunity. This is a good sell opportunity. Let me see where it goes. Next trade. Next trade I took, well, we already talked about the pound Swiss that I closed. New Zealand dollar. I spoke about the New Zealand dollar. So let me go into that New Zealand dollar because the New Zealand dollar yesterday, I told you guys what my forecast is in it, and the magic works. I told you I'm going to leave those arrows there because this is what I think it's going to do. By the way, I got my crystal ball here just in case you're asking how I know that. Comes here, go back down, then go up. So we did 1, 2, 3 down. We did 1, 2, 3 up. We're looking for this down here now. How far down this comes, I don't know. Why I don't know how far down that is coming. We are actually going to be retracing this whole move up. So hopefully that's a big retracement. I don't think it's going to be a big retracement. I think it's actually going to make a flat pattern here. It's going to make like a flat pattern somewhere here, and then we might go back up. So I may close that trade very soon, maybe in this session. Let me see how it goes, and then let's see how the pattern develops, and then we'll make that decision. Well, I'll explain to you why I'm closing that trade. So the reason I take that sell, because sometimes you get surprised on those sell. It's not a big sell, but you do get surprised on them, right? They tend to fall very fast, and then they turn to go back up. So if that happens, I will get a very good risk to reward, probably about 2 to 1. If not, I'll just close it very fast. It's a very small trade at a very low risk because I'm selling it here and my stop is here. That is, if they break that up, I'm exiting that trade. When I say my stop is, once they break that up, I'm out of the trade, just like the pound Swiss, right? Didn't go, out of the trade. That's about 0.5%, and that's okay. I don't keep them to lose 10%, 20% of my account. So let's see. We're looking for this. Let me see how far it goes. So you saw what I said. You got to be careful if you take the buy because it's going to come back down. Right? And that's based on how we look at wave analysis. Next trade we're in. Let's go. Next trade. Well, the silver, I already told you guys about the silver too. I closed one, opened the new one, and I explained why. So all trades covered. This is what the account looks like. You can see, right? Basically, this is how I trade. If I close a trade below the 1%, I call that break-even trade because that means the trade didn't go where I wanted it to go, right? So now that's it. Now everybody can take a very deep breath. Don't type anything. Just take a deep breath, relax. You're not going anywhere. There's no rush to get into any trade. It doesn't matter what is moving, when it's moving, how it's moving. You need not rush to get into any trade. I did this very fast because I want to get over this piece. What is in the account, what you see, and what you go. So the account right now, we booked 6 to 1, we were at 6 to 1, right? So we're pretty much at the same place. We didn't make much money yet. We only make $1,000. That's not a lot of money. That's nothing. So we're going to go. Now, what we are going to do today and how we're going to work today. Nobody type anything because I'm not going to answer to any question. We don't want to get into that crazy thing we had yesterday. So I would leave till at the end of the very, very end of the webinar to answer to your questions. Right? Very end. For the charts that we would, the charts we would look at, I want my traders only to send me setups that they see. I'm not going to be looking at all the charts for everyone because we are not in a webinar style. We're not doing a webinar. We are actually trading. So I want only charts with trade setup. So my traders, if I see my trader type of chart, I'll probably, that is if you use your name that I know you by, then I'll look at that chart. Otherwise, now we're not going to be looking at any charts, right? We want to make today as clean as possible, as good as possible. Less chat, less nonsense. Let's look for trades. So some people are saying, answer my question. Some people are saying, hunt for trade. We're going to do that different. We're just going to try to find trades and trade, right? All the questions. In between, I will give you very short explanations as to why I'm doing this, what I'm doing, right? The second thing I got is about 3-4 emails saying, your method worked, but you're not explaining it too much for us. So I'm not sure if I want to take the course because, hey, this is not selling the course to you. Let me get that very clear. I'm not here to sell the course to you. This is not a promotion to sell the course. This is to help you understand how I trade, So right now, I'm going to put up this disclaimer so you can read it. I'll give you about a minute to read it. I'll give you about 2 minutes to read it, and we'll take a break. Read that disclaimer. Good. In short, what it's telling you is that I am not selling signals here. I'm not giving you signals. I'm not telling you to take any trade, right? I'm just showing you how I trade. So treat it like a show. You're here to see how I trade. Relax, enjoy it, right? Let me show you what I normally do. I may even take a coffee break because I normally do that when I trade. So let's go. This trade is good. All the trades that I have on are good. Let's deal with the one that might be, we might have to close. There's the euro. We're not closing the euro because we don't have any reason to close it. It's just going sideways. Let it go sideways and drop. If we see there's a reason to close the trade, we close it. Right now, it's going good. So we're going to leave it alone, right? I will come back to it. Setups on all other trades. Let me see. On the pound is coming down. The pound and the euro is pretty much the same, so there's no reason to sell this. If it breaks the structure, make a flag, we'll sell it. Right? We will not get that trade today because by the time it break and make a flag, that will take a long while. So what else you can look at? Aussie. I didn't sell the Aussie. I had a choice between selling the Aussie or selling the New Zealand. I sold the New Zealand, right? It's the same. Right now, they're all going because it's dollar movement. So I don't want to take another dollar trade. Right? This is showing you dollar losing value in relationship to euro, in relationship to pound, in relationship to Aussie, in relationship to New Zealand, and all the rest, UK and all of them, right? So I got tagged in the euro one because we had an entry order there. I want to show you guys how to use entry orders as well. We got tagged in that. The New Zealand, I take it because I actually like the New Zealand. I think it might fall some more faster. There might be a sudden move. If that doesn't happen, well, then it's a break-even trade for me again, right? That's okay. You're going to have a lot of break-even trades if you trade correctly. You're going to have a lot of break-even trades, and the rest of the trades that are not break-even are going to make you money. You're going to have a few losses. Your losses should be small, basically. Just keep them small like I keep them. If you keep all your losses small and the ones doesn't go, you get break-even, and then, let me just show you in very short stats before we go. So if you get 50% break-even trade, you get 30% or 40% win. You should get about 40% win if you're getting 50% break even, and you get 20% loss, you're going to make money. If you get 40% win and you get 10% loss, you're going to double your account in less than a year. Basically, that's just how it works. So let's go. What are the trades we can look for? Right now, the yen might get a setup for us. Yen is actually doing this. And remember, I explained the yen to you guys yesterday. Not because it breaks, this means it's going to go. If this is going to go, wait for a flag. Let it make a flag before you go. The reason for that is because we're looking at this possibility for this to come back here, then go. See? I can show you that in the chart. This is what we normally discuss in details. What I'm not telling you here now, what is the pattern, the details of the pattern, is what we do in our morning webinar, right? So in my morning webinar, I will explain in details to my traders what the pattern is, what we need to wait for, what we are doing. Sometimes I don't have to go into too much details because they're already well trained and they know what to do. I just say, okay, we're looking for a sell here. So what I think this is going to do, we will watch it. This thing has a tendency to make contracting flats. I can show you a number of them. So what we're going to look for here is if this starts to make a consolidation here, we're going to go for a buy. I wouldn't like to buy above there. If it comes here, we will ignore the sell, but we will look for the buy because we're looking for a buy in yen. Should we buy above this one? I think it's a bad idea because they can tag you and drag you down back. This is not enough of a consolidation to buy into. We'll keep an eye on it. If it goes, let it go. We will wait for a proper consolidation, proper setup, and then we will buy it. What do we think is going to, let me show you. I want to show you some contracting flats in it. So let's go to the 4 hour because I don't think I'm going to find them on the 1 hour. Here is a good idea of a contracting flat. See that one? That is one. There's another one here. Way back in the days, here is another contracting flat on the yen. Right? See? So it has a tendency to make those patterns and then go. Right? So let's go. Next one we're looking for. We're looking for a sell, but if this is going to be a contracting flat, we will get the buy. I don't want to take the buy from where it is right now. I don't think that is enough of a consolidation for that buy. Swiss broke out. Like I said, I was already in the euro and in New Zealand when the Swiss break, so I was already in the euro. That's why I didn't really take this one. It broke out. We were expecting this to go. So my traders are there. If they have their entry orders and they're supposed to have an entry order here, they're in that trade. If they're in that trade, my traders should have that entry order. If they're in that trade, or some of them took it from here, which is even better. If you took it from this, you're probably in the trade. And like Isaac, you probably took it from much lower. So if you took that trade, when it comes here, you put that to break even. And the reason you put it to break even there is because we're still in the 4-hour consolidation. So that means this consolidation could still continue to go like this as the pattern in the consolidation develops. If this breaks out, bingo, that's your trade. That's your 5-to-1, 10-to-1 winning trade. If it comes back, it's a break even, and then we look for buys, we look for buys, we look for buys, we look for buys until it won't go. Selling it, that would be a different story. Sell and buy in the tunnel, you can do that. We do it sometimes, but it's not like we bought this in the tunnel, right? But when you're at the low already, you're looking for a buy opportunity. You're not looking at the bottom here, you're not looking for any sell opportunity because you can get yourself in trouble. At the top here, when it starts to come down, you can look for sell opportunity. But at the bottom here, only take the buys. Because here's the thing. Let me just, if something is to happen to this chart really fast, like there's going to be a really spike, the possibility for the spike to be to the upside is 90%. The possibility for a spike to the downside is 10%. Because the patterns show you that when they're going to make a sudden spike, they will go with the direction of this pattern. So the chances of this making a sudden spike like that is much less than the chance of it making a sudden spike. So you're looking for the buy opportunity. So if something surprising happens, it's going to be in your favor. That's it. It's so simple. It's not very difficult. That's what you're going to look for. Let's go. Next one. Where we were looking. I actually labeled some trade opportunities here this morning that we're interested in. We're interested in this one. We're very much interested in this one. As you can see, it's very small correction. I don't like the fact that it's so small. I wish they'd come down a few, come down some more on that, but we will take the trade. We will take the trade and then we'll manage it to see where it goes. So if this breaks out, we can actually use an entry order here, or we'll be here to take the trade because I actually don't think this one is going to go, but we will manage the break even, or we'll take a very small loss on it if it goes. Don't try to buy it here. You don't have a buy setup there. Basically, I'll be pretty happy if they fall here, and then we would look for a buy on the way up somewhere here. Right? So let's see how that behaves. We're very interested in this one. Aussie New Zealand is one we are absolutely interested in, right? So you can actually put an entry order there. That is what I would do. I would put an entry order there. By the way, like I said, we're not making trade calls here. These are just my opinion. You can put an entry call there. I think because of this pattern, they might kind of drop some more. I would like them to drop some more, and then we would look for the buy setup. The reason we're looking for this is a yearly chart. Some of my traders are already in. I don't know if they still have the trade or if they took it off, but they're in from an entry order here. An entry order that I forget to put on over the New Year's. I should have done that because I told all my traders to do it, and I forget to do it. That happens sometimes, right? I didn't think it was going to happen over the New Year's, and I wasn't on the chart for a week or two, and then we're going to look for that, right? We already discussed the Euro trade. So if you came in late, you will have to wait until we come back to that trade, right? That's what we're going to do every day. The idea is we're going to come in, we're going to discuss all the trades we had, all the trades we took, all the trades I closed, and then we're going to come back to the charts to look for new trades and manage the trades we are in as well, right? I'll explain to you how I manage there. So if you're in from here, this is amazing. You just need to keep it. We will look for this trade because this trade is going to go really, really, really big. We told you about this last year already. I told you many times about it, that this would be a very big move to the upside. I actually have the punk cat here to show you how big it could get. So we will be looking for this buy. This is going to be an important buy for us. Now, I hope it comes down lower. The lower it comes, the better the risk to reward for us, the better the opportunity to get in the trade and stay with it for a longer time. So this is the trade we're keen on. I would definitely get in that trade if it starts to go. Let's see what else we can look at. The Euro Swiss might break again, but I don't think it's going to go right now, so we might not be interested in the Euro Swiss sellers yet. I'm looking at, let me see what else we can look for. Yen, not ready. Okay, my traders will have to come in and tell me what charts they're looking at so I can get them. We don't miss all the charts. Peng Yen, upside, yes, let's look at the Peng Yen. Because this is how we do it in the trading room. They would tell me what charts they're looking for, and then I'll go. Peng Yen not ready. Actually, it's breaking now. We know this part might be coming down back. So it might be a running flat, but we'll have to buy above here. So the buy will be a long time from now. If it is a running flat, it's going to be a buy above. If it's coming back deep, then we'll look for the sell setup. If they're going to have a sell setup, you have to wait for the flag here now, and then we're going to get the sell. All right, so that will take about 6-7 hours. Let's see what else we get. Euro USD seller. We discussed that already. I'm scanning all my charts that I have open to see what else we're looking at. And copper, by the way, I don't trade it very much, but we expect this to drop like one more here, ignore the sell, and then look for the buy. Let this come like this, let it come back here, and then look for the buy. All right, it's going to drop. I don't think you want the sell. If you want to buy and you think it's going to go from there, you can put an entry order there. That entry order will change if it drops beyond the low. Right? If it goes beyond the low, the entry order will change. Right? So let's go. Euro Swiss, it's just making a flag right now. Correction, nothing to do there. We looked at it. CAD Swiss, we're not looking at CAD Swiss. Nothing is there to look at. So, by the way, guys, the Euro SEC has something. Okay, let me go check it. That is USD, USD, right? Let's see what that has. Right? So, okay. 1 hour. Nope, I don't see anything here yet. It's an upside. We were expecting this to go back up here, but I don't see a 1 hour flag to trade. We broke the structure already, but we don't have any 1 hour flag here as yet. This is more of a very small running flat. If you want to take the trade here, no, I don't like that one. That's more of a risky one. We'll skip this here. What about Aussie New Zealand? Yes, Yulia, glad you're in here. We just looked at the Aussie New Zealand. We're waiting for a buy. It has to break out. It hasn't broke out as yet. I showed them the entire chart from top to bottom from the weekly. So we're waiting for that buy. When that break we do. I wanted to drop some more. By the way, Yulia is one of our very, very good traders. She might be one of the trainers for you if you do come in, join the course. So let's go. What else we're going to do? Let's see. Let me show you the cryptocurrencies while we have some time. And you can see how the magic works. So yesterday I went into the details of all the news when somebody asked me that it's going to drop and somebody said, no, it's going to go up. So if you were listening to me and you trade it, you should be in the buy, right? See, you're going to get another opportunity to buy it again because as you can see, it's pulling back like this. So you should get a break to the upside. When they do like this, they drop. So those of you who trade crypto, this would be a good opportunity. You should not miss it. You're going to get this one. Amazing. You see that buy setup? All you had to do was put an entry order there, and you can do the same by putting an entry order here, right? Or wait for the breakout if you know to trade that, if you have a strategy to trade that. This is going to go up. The magic works, right? See? Yesterday only I was convincing you guys that all of this is going to go up. It doesn't matter what anybody is saying in the news. It doesn't matter who is saying what in the news. The structure is telling you it is going to go up. That's it. That's all you need to know. Block the noise out. Watch the charts. Keep your focus on the charts. The charts is the only real thing out there. The noises and the news and all the whatever opinions you're getting out there is a waste of time. Even my opinion is a waste of time. I look at the charts. I don't even trade my own opinion. I trade what is in the charts. What the chart is telling me, that's what I focus on. I read what the chart says and then I trade that. Right? So my opinion, silver is going to go up. The chart said, hey, we're going to get a drop. I closed my trade. I bought lower. See, it's very simple. What the chart tells you to do is what you do. Gold, let's look at gold. Since we spoke about silver, let's look at gold. So all these are going to go up. They're going to go up, bigger move up too. UJ could complete the regular corrections. UJ is probably going to go down some more. Let's look at silver, gold. So sometimes, as I show you guys, sometimes these trades are not going to happen while we're in here. So the idea is not that I'm going to take all the trades in here. The idea is for me to show you how I trade. So if I took a trade before, I come here and I explain the trades that I'm taking. If I close a trade, I come here, explain why I close the trade. If we find it live in that 2 hour span that we're going to be here, we will do it. If we think there is a good opportunity, but it's not live and we can put an entry order, just for the sake of you guys, I will put the entry order in. Normally, I don't use a lot of entry order, right? So I'm going to do that. I'm not looking at any requests. Don't type any requests. Just relax. We're going to have time for that. I already said that. Just leave everything to the end. I'm not going to go into any discussion. Just watch me trade. You guys are not here. I'm trading alone. Watch me trade. This is a show. Enjoy the show, right? I'm just going to show you what I normally do. Relax and enjoy the show. You will either see me make money or see me lose money. That's all. That's a choice. That's a two-way, right? But you see how I do it. You see how I make money, you see how I lose money. That's the whole thing. So let's go back to where we are. We will still manage the trades we are in, right? So I'm keeping an eye on it. That's it. It's a show. This is not a signal service. I warn you guys. You are here to watch how I trade. You ask for it, I'm giving it to you. And I'm giving it live. And I'm giving you on a serious account. It's an investor account, right? This guy, money is at risk right now. So this is serious business. This is not some $5,000 account or $2,000 account where they're showing you, hey, look, I make $10, make $2, make $3, right? Those guys are just to attract you to buy signals. I'm telling you about serious trading for money. If you have ambition to be a trader, you have to dream big. You have to dream that you will be the best trader in the world. That should be your goal. Every single one of you should have one goal in here if you want to be a trader. I am going to be the best trader in the world. Now, whether you reach that goal or not is a different story, but that should be your goal. If you have anything less than that, you're wasting your time. If you have anything less than that, you're wasting your time. It means you're agreeing to be less than you should be in the field you want to be. You should never agree to be less. You have to agree to be more. And that means you strive towards your goal. Now, would you be the best trader? Of course not. I'm here. So you wouldn't be the best trader in the world. But at least you can strive to it. Right? I'm just kidding. So let's go. So watch this. I'm guessing the troll will enjoy that piece because it's live on YouTube, right? So we watched this pattern yesterday. I explained to you that if you look at yes, if you look at the triangular patterns, they have 4 different ways they can develop. You are looking at a triangular pattern that has a different way of how it's going to develop, right? Because it's no longer a triangular pattern. So you take that out. It looks like a triangle. It starts to look like a triangle when it has the first 3 waves inside, and then that changes when the 4th one breaks out. So what we're looking at here is a bigger corrective structure. I think we will go with that. We will go with this coming here, and there's a very good chance from this level we're going to go back up, right? Don't ask me how that is done. That's magic. If I'm wrong, then the magic didn't work. But very likely, I'm not going to be in a sell because I'm not looking for a sell. If it goes like this, I will not be in a sell. If it goes like this, I'll be buying from here. If it goes like this, I'll be buying from here. And when it gets here, I'll exit the trade because it's going to come here and then go back. See? CAD Singapore, I don't have that one on, but we can check it since we have time. You see, when my traders say they're looking at that trade, and especially when people like Yulia or many of my traders say that, I look at that trade because they know what they're doing, right? These guys are well trained. They know what they're doing. I trust what they do. And that's how we work in our group. We have so much experienced trader in the group that's exactly, you see, this is what she's talking about. Look for a buy setup there, right? So she probably in the buy already because I can see where she bought, the flag where she bought, right? She's probably already in. We have to wait now. We cannot get into that trade right now. By the way, you know, watch for a possibility of a running flat. Watch for a possibility. I don't want to go into too much details, but yes. Okay, you saw it. Great. Watch for a possibility of that running flat, one more drop and then go. Yes. So good work. Let's go. Where are we? Let me see what else. Okay, I'm going to look at the New Zealand yen for you guys because I think that one is interesting too. New Zealand yen. Let's look at the New Zealand yen. New Zealand yen, this one is interesting in that I'm going to explain to you why this is interesting. And I probably, if I can show you some of that. New Zealand yen, watch this because we are expecting this to go up big time. Right? Let me show you on the daily. I think I did that yesterday already, but I'll show you again. I'm expecting this to go up big time. If you were following me in my weekly outlooks, you should follow me there. If you want to be serious about trading, you should definitely look at those webinars. We were looking for this to do this, to make a running flat, finish this structure under the low. I like when they finish it there and then go back up, right? So we're looking for a buy setup. And if you look at a 4 hour now, what you have is this. You see they're going sideways. That sideways may look to you like it's going to come down. Very often a channel like that breaks to the downside. But in some cases, if you look inside, what you normally have is a running flat. So this morning, while it was at the top, I told my traders, if it drops to the bottom, we will start to look for a buy setup because that would complete the running flat we're looking for. Once it gets here, any chance of it going up, we're buying, or we'll put an entry order above that top. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go in my account and put an entry order above the top, just in case I'm not there when it goes up. If it goes down, I don't care. Right? It's that simple. If I'm wrong about this and it goes down, I don't care. I'm not in the trade. The idea is not for me to get every single move that is made. The idea is for me to look at patterns that I know or patterns that are developing, figure out what that pattern could develop to be, right? Which means I'm taking the piece, look at it and say, hey, I think this pattern is doing this. If I'm right about that and it behaves the way I think it's going to behave, I should be in that trade. Now, if it doesn't behave the way I want it to behave, I'm not in the trade. That's it. It falls, I'm not in the trade. I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to go for you. For the sake of you guys, I would normally don't put that entry in, but I'll go put it in right now while we're talking so that if this comes here and go back up, that will be an amazing up move. We have seen trade like this, and they really move fast when it starts to go. So you might not get a chance at it. If you get a flag within here, we will take the trade. When it turns, if it makes a flag first, that's rare. You're not going to get a flag. But if it does, we will get in the trade, right? That way. So the CAD dollar fall, which means my pound CAD should be positive. Yeah, the pound CAD is, well, it's not positive. It's balancing on zero right now. Silver is going back up. Great. Expected that to happen. Let's see. Silver is 1,000. It's covering the loss for the one I closed this morning. New Zealand is not moving anywhere. Let's take a look at New Zealand, see why it's not going. If it's making a flat for upside. Okay, no need to worry with it. Basically, if I'm gonna step away from my computer, I will close the New Zealand and then I'll rebuy it. I'll tell you why. Because I think right now they're actually gonna do this. You see, you notice they make a flat there and then they drop, they make a correction here and then they go up, they'll make a small correction. If they make that small correction there, it's gonna be a very small move down here before they go back up. We're gonna be in this flat pattern. Sorry, let me take off some of these things because it might confuse you guys. So now that you've seen that this thing is working, those arrows are working perfect, I'm gonna take them off, right? And I'll show you the pattern we're probably gonna be looking at now. The pattern would be something like this. So what I think it's going to do is it's going to make a small correction probably here and then drop here and then go back up. We will be willing to buy that if that is what it is. Now, in some cases, they just drop. Just be aware. We're not going to go into all the details of why, when, and what pattern. But I'm telling you now, in some cases, they can drop. And that is why I'm selling it. I'm not selling it for this. I'm selling it for if it drops. My risk is I'm putting a stop there. I'm willing to take that loss. Right? If it doesn't do it. But as you can see, it's moving so slow that probably in the next 4 hours, it will still be right where it is. So we need not worry much about it. Basically, this is something most of you should understand because I understand from some traders, the feedback that I'm getting is traders are scared of the charts. Oh, if I put a trade on, what if it spikes and take me out and then do that? The reason you're scared of the chart is because you don't have a clue how it behaves. You see, I draw to arrow yesterday and it actually did what the arrow says it's going to do. That is because we understand how patterns work. So at this point, I'm going to take one question that somebody sent me. It's a very long question. So I'm going to make it very, I asked the person permission. It sent me on Skype. I asked him permission to use it, but I don't think he's replied us yet. What I can do is just go ahead and read it without his name. I was going to show you the question, but I can't show you because I haven't got permission from him to use it. It's a very long question. So I'm going to make it short. Hello, Anil. I'm considering your course because blah, blah, blah. I'm in the market for so many years, or blah, and I'm an Elliott waiver. The important thing he says, I'm an Elliott waiver. I bought all the cores that Elliott Waiver International sells. So he has bought all of them. If I understand him clearly, he's bought everything. He works. He's been following them for a long time. He's been doing all that stuff. Well, basically, he's here because it's not working so good for him. I would make an assumption because he didn't say that part. I'm just assuming it didn't work good. He said, sometime I look at your webinars and sometimes it works well. Oil is moving. I'll take a pause and let's go look at oil and then we'll come back. It's important to look at what is moving right now. Not yet. So let's look at oil, what we want from oil, right? I know it's moving. You actually got me scared there. We're missing it. So right now they're making a small consolidation. That consolidation is a short sell if you want it. If you guys want it, it's going to be a short sell like this, and then it's going to go back up. Now, this normally don't go so fast and so straight because you're correcting this move up to go here and then to go back up. So this trade done is an if-ish trade, which means you can take it if you're bored. If we have nothing else to do, we can sell it. We'll come out very fast. But the trade you don't want to miss is the upside. So first you will have to wait for that consolidation. Consolidation takes sometimes very long to go on. They just go on forever sometimes, right? But then eventually you see the trade. Euro, I think, is starting to move up, which means if that happens, we will just exit the trade. No, let's just leave it there. It's still good. The 4-hour candle, it's closing. Let the 4-hour candle close. Let the next one open, and then we'll go to the 1 hour and we'll decide what it's doing, right? It's going up, let it go. We'll get a break-even trade. No need to worry. Right? I'm not so keen. If it's coming all the way to the low, then I'm interested. Right? If it's just going to stay there, that's 1,000, 2,000. That's on my account. That's not serious. So we leave it. So let's go back to what we were doing. You don't understand why I'm not in the US. It's just, for me, it's going really good. What is it you don't understand? I'm already in 2 trades with the dollar. It's a dollar movement. Everybody understand that? The reason all these majors are moving is because of dollar losing value in relationship to them. Right? They're getting so dollar gaining strength. Sorry, my fault. Dollar gaining strength in relationship to them. So they're all just getting weak in relationship to dollar. So if I'm already in $2 trade, I don't want the third one. That's the problem, right? I'll rather go look for a cross that might be similar to one of those, but it's a cross, which means I have a less risk open on the same thing, right? I'm not opening so much risk in it. So you can go sell euro, sell pound, sell Aussie, sell New Zealand, buy. It's the same trade. If you do that, you're actually taking one and the same trade if it's a dollar movement, right? Hiring for any position to help do what? Trade? I trade. So if you can help me trade, then I don't think you need me to hire you. If you can trade as good as I trade, you don't need me to hire you. You should be trading, right? For yourself, much better, right? I trade for investors. So right now, no, I'm not hiring anybody for anything. So let's go. So this is coming back, but there is no need to worry. I want you to understand, you don't have to follow every candle, chase every candle, and get nervous over every candle, right? I know traders do that. Relax. It's not going anywhere. The worst case is you will take a loss. And if you take a loss, nothing should happen to you. Your account is still very intact and you can continue to trade, right? So let's leave it alone. Let it do what it has to do. We will come back to it. I'm glad they're going up because I'm more keen on the silver trade than this one, right? I am really glad that they're all going up because I want silver to go up. I am more interested in, if you can look at my silver trade, you can see the size of the silver trade I took. Silver is making much more money for me on the upside than what euro could make on the downside. So I'm more keen on silver going up. So let's go back to what we were doing. Let's go back. What trade we were in? We're in the oil, right? So let me explain that trade to you guys. I think it was on the oil. Yeah. This one will first consolidate, go down, then go back up. So don't worry much about it. If we get the sell, we'll take it. If not, we'll just leave it as it is. It's a sell setup, but you're not selling it as yet. Let's see what other trades were. The USD CAD might be a buy for those of you who are very keen on it. If I close the euro, I'll take the CAD buy. If we close the euro, we'll take this CAD buy, right? Because if this CAD goes, it's probably going to go. We might get a nice impulse here. So you guys keep an eye out. For me, we'll not buy here. Don't do that. I know some of you may be tempted to say, well, it's at the low. Let's buy it at the low if it's going to break out, right? I see traders do this. Hey, but this thing, you said this thing is going to go back up, right? So why wait for it to break here? Why not buy it here? Actually, I know traders who do that. And then what happens? They buy it here, it goes up a little like this, and then it does that. They panic, they close it, and then they watch it do this. And they're no longer in the trade. And I'm telling you, I've seen accounts where traders do that because I do one-on-one with my traders who are struggling. And when they do that, I always said, why did you go? Well, because it's going to go back up, right? Yeah, but do you know it's going back up from here? No, you don't. So when you buy here, where was your stop? Well, I didn't have a stop. And when it starts to drop, I panicked and I closed it. And then I watched it go back, but now I can't trade it. I can't take the trade anymore because you're trading in a panic mode. And if you're trading in a panic mode, you can't trade. It's that simple. You're just breaking your whole psychology if you do that, right? So wait for this. Let's see what it's going to do. I know you're talking about expanding flat for upside, but we might probably get this go up with a deeper correction. Remember, the correction to the upside is huge. So see that? Correction to the upside is huge. We're not even 50% of that correction as yet. We're not even 382 of that correction. So it could consolidate here, go back up more, consolidate, go back up, and then end up with a bigger correction in here before it goes. So this smaller one here is just still the impulse to the upside. Let's go. So we might get a trade there to the upside today. All right, let's wait and see. No need to rush. We will know. All right. What else we're looking at? Punkat is not going anywhere. It's just hovering around the corner. So everything is kind of like pulling back, making some corrections. Nothing is moving anywhere as yet. The question sent for you. So we will take a pause here now because I don't see any trade set up right now that we can take. Oh, let me put the entry order in on the dollar yen. Sorry, the New Zealand yen. Let's put the entry order in New Zealand yen because I'll forget about it. So let me put it on right now. Sorry. New Zealand yen, we're going to let me calculate the risk in it. So if we put an entry order there, I wanted to turn from here. I don't want it to break this structure. I want it to come here, go back up and take me in. So the risk would be this. I'll get out of that structure if they break that low, right? So if it does that, if it doesn't do that, then I'm not worried, right? So I'll just have to calculate how much this is going to be. I'm calculating to about this area. That's about 78. So if I take 10 standards, that's only 7,000. That's slightly above. So we can go. I'll take it. I should take about 8, but I'll just round it up to 10 standards. And let's go. It's slightly above 1%. So let's go with that. I can handle it. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Yeah. And we're going to put it as a stop limit, and the stop should be 74.49. I think it was 49.5 or something like that. So I'm going to put that up, and this one is going to be 74.50 maybe, and place the order. Okay, so we have that order on there. Let's go back to the chart. I totally don't look at the spread. I know you're saying I don't look at the spread, I don't look at the commission, and I don't look at the rollover because they're insignificant in the way I trade. If they charge me 1 extra pip, 2 extra pip, it doesn't bother me. I'm not trading for 1, 2 pip. I'm trading for hundreds of pips forward. So it's insignificant. I'm always focusing on the money. The reason this investor chose Saxo is because of the security of his entire account, right? Saxo will not go broke tomorrow, right? Saxo undoubtedly will bankrupt tomorrow. I hope so. That's the hope, right? Because it's not only just a broker, it's more of a bank and all of that. So basically, they will not just allow it to collapse like that. That the security of the capital is what is more important, right? Exactly. So that's why we 73.50 for what? No. We are buying it at top. It's an entry order for it to come down and then go. Oh, I didn't put any stop loss. Stop loss I put only when it's the second one you see is not a stop loss. The second one is the slippage. So when I put 74.49.50 and then I put 74.50, the slippage is 5 pips, which means if there is a slippage of more than 5 pips, I will not be in that trade. I don't want them to give me 100 pip slippage, right? That doesn't work. Let's go. So SPX, this morning we were looking at it for a possible buy. Let's see what it's doing right now. Yeah, we're still looking for a possible buy. Let this correct down. Same thing, you want this to come back down here, and then you can look for the buy setup. All right, we're expecting this to be a buy. So it's probably going to come back. I don't think they will, very rarely they'll break that low. That's if we're making an expanding flat. But most likely, I think it's going to be a running flat. They'll come here and then they'll go up. You can put an entry order lower now, because this morning I put it there because the price was here. If it's going to break out, we want to be in it. But we wanted to come here and then go back up. Okay, we're not going to look at all the charts, guys, because then we'll end up with a webinar style, something we don't want, right? We want this to be more of a trading. Tell me if you see something that is actually going to be the trade. What is the target for the euro? Let's look at the euro. So why did we take the euro and what is the target? So we're looking at this up. See that possibility in the euro? I'm looking at this chart, and this euro could come here, right? See that? This one, that one, it could come here. So the trade we took is actually if euro is going to go now, that is the trade. It's not the small trade in there. So let me put an arrow so you will see what I'm looking at. I'm looking for this trade. If this is going to go, we want it to come here, right? So go back to the 1 hour. So you can see where the arrow is. See where the arrow is? It's not the small trade we're going for, it's the big trade we're going for. So I'm just going to put this arrow a little more like this, like that, right? So you can follow it. That is the trade we're looking for if that goes. If it doesn't go, right now your stop should be here. Yesterday the stop was here. Remember that? The stop was here, sorry. You can bring that stop down to here now. So if yesterday on the entry order, we were risking 1% from here to there, right? That is a 1% risk we took. You can put that stop here now that you're in the trade, and you've just reduced your risk to 0.5%. You see, the idea is to protect your capital and reduce your risk. So we just reduce the risk by 50%. So now instead of losing 1%, if you're losing this trade, if something happens and you lose, you're going to lose 0.5% only. Great, right? That's the whole idea, is that you're going to lose less than win. So you don't cut your profit. You don't take off part of the profit. You reduce your risk. And if this falls, it does what we want it to do. That's the trade, right? We can't put it to break evens yet. It's too early. But you can put your stop here now. So you're now risking only 0.5%. See how easy it goes? That's trading. So welcome to my world. These are the things we teach you in our trading group. These are the things you learn. There's so much you can learn there that you will never learn out here, right? We teach you all those stuff there. You're there, you get trained, you learn all of that stuff, and you want to know how my traders double and triple their account in a year? This is how they do it. This is literally how they do it, right? So let's go. Let's relax. I told you, don't worry about the candles. If the candles are bothering you guys, I'll just take them out and put the line chart, right? Just leave them there. So yen is coming down, right? We want the yen to come down. It's not a good sell. I don't want you guys to get into a risky sell, right? My traders may get aggressive and want to take this for the downside here because we are expecting this to do something like that. And then we'll be looking for the upside. The reason that might be a good sell, not that you should take it. I'm not saying it's the reason it might be a good sell is because if they make a flat that is equivalent to this, they're going to actually bring this down to that level. But remember, not always the C wave goes like that. Sometimes they're going to make a contracting flat and just drop it to this level and go back up, right? And I just showed you that this thing loves to make contracting flats. So the sell, I'm not taking, I'm waiting for the buy. Let them drop, and then I'll be willing to go with the buy. So it may take a long time to come to. When they're dropping like in a correction like that, they go very, very, very slow, right? So what else we can look at right now? Sorry. CAD is not moving, euro is not moving, pound is not moving, nothing is moving right now. Everything is more or less stable. But we've got an entry order and we wait. So, like I said, they might not move in this session, right? So let me go back to the question that I was answering. Yes. So the guy was telling me about this, and he said the reason, he's following this Elliott wave thing and all of that, and he says, well, you're not showing so much of what you do in your group, so he's a little confused whether you should take the course. You will not see what we do in our group here. It's that simple. What you need to make your decision is watching what I do. Look at all my webinars. Look at the method I use. And if you think that is a good method for you to do forecasts, like in the New Zealand, I said it's going to go up, it's going to go down. You think that's good? You like that? You would like to learn to do that? That's what you make your decision. I would like to make forecasts like that, and I would like to trade like that, right? People said we want to see you trade. So you're seeing how I trade. If you like the way I trade and you want to learn to trade like this, those will be the reasons for taking the course, right? Nothing else. Not even what my trader do and their success, because success is an individual thing, very individual, right? Every success for everyone will be different. So don't base it on somebody else's success, based on what you want. Let's go. What else we're looking at? CAD, we're looking for a buy, not a sell, right? So interesting. If we're looking for a buy in CAD and a sell in yen, what should we look at? The one chart that I marked for you here, CAD yen. See? There's a reason I marked this one here, because we were very, very interested in this, right? You can actually put an entry order here now if you want. Do we have an entry order on my one in the CAD yen? Nope. Let's put one. CAD yen 82.11. The stop would be here. The stop would be calculated under this low, because this one is going to come beyond the low there. We're expecting it to come here and then go back up, right? So it should come somewhere here. So you calculate your risk that the stop would be here if they come back and take it. Now we could get in that trade much earlier. We don't need to wait for the trade to come here and then go back here and take it. If we get an entry order here by Thursday or Friday, we will take that trade up, right? But this is a really good one. So I'm going to go through it, why it's so good. I'm going to start from the weekly for you guys so you can figure out what we do. I think I showed you yesterday already. So I'm going to go through it again. We have got this impulse down. We're not going to look further. We can look further. We've got that move up. We've got this move down. We're looking for a move up, and then we'll be looking for another move down. So the trade we're looking for is this trade here. Not a big trade. I think it's about just a couple hundred pips. That if it goes, that is just going to be about 1,000 pips, right? So we're going to look at that for that, right? So yesterday I already showed you this. So good thing you put the entry order in, because yesterday that's exactly what we're looking for. So the entry order yesterday was here, right? But now you can move that entry order to this level, right? 82.23. So you can move it a little lower. The reason you can move it a little lower, because if they break now, they're likely going to, I don't think they're going to break. I think they're coming down. I pretty much, it's a short sell, so I'm not interested in the sell, but we're interested in the buy. So you can put it here. And if that breaks, if it breaks and it doesn't go immediately, which means if they break here and they start to make a bigger corrective structure, which happens, right? Like I said, there are so many things you guys don't know about structure here that I cannot go through, right? If they start to do that, we will manage that trade to break even. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to go put the entry order in right now, 82.07. Let's see if we want to put a better number. Yeah, we could put it. I want to be a little away from the price. I don't want to be too close to the price. That is 30 pips. That's okay. 82.09. So we put an entry order for Canadian. We're going to put an entry order for 82. We're going to put a stop. And let's calculate the risk. That's about 75 pips. Same thing, you can go with 10 standard lots. That's just about 1.2% on my account. So we're going to go with 10 standards. We got a stop limit. It's a buy. We go with 10 standards here. And 82, what is it again? 82.09. $82.09, and we'll put a slippage of about a couple pips, so it's going to be 82.12, something like that, right? We don't want a lot of slippage here. Place the order, confirm, and let's go. So because I'm putting in so many orders, the first orders that got trickled, the rest will come off, because I don't want to overtrade as well. We don't want this margin to go. Normally I keep that margin under 20%. Right now it's 50. The reason I'm putting those orders is because we might end up closing some of these trades today. We might close some of these positions today that are not going anywhere, right? If they're not going to go, we'll just get rid of them. Like the pound CAD, if it's not going to go, I'll get rid of it. If the euro doesn't go today, we'll get rid of it, right? So we will open up space for trading. You don't want to overtrade. You don't want to have your margin used up too much, because then the broker gets very interested in you, right? You don't want that to happen. So let's see if this comes down. We want it to come down first. That's not a sell. I know you're looking at it and say, well, why don't we just sell it for this 10 pips or 40 pips? No. The pip you want is not the 40 pip. The trade you want is 100 and something pips to the upside, and maybe 1,000 pips if you keep it all the way. You don't have to keep it all the way. but you can take a number of trades to that way. But if you look at this alone, that's 500 pips. From the bottom, it's about, I don't know how much. Sorry, that's about 600, 500 and something pips. I'm trying to get it to see how much it's not going like this. Yeah, that's 577. So if we give up 100, that's 477 we can get out of that trade, right? Yes, I'm sharing my screen. You only see my profile. That's weird. You're the only one. Everybody else is out. Michael, you need to probably log off and log on back, because I'm sharing my screen and everybody else, nobody else is complaining. Everybody else sees the chart, right? Refresh or something. Log off, log on back, Michael. You'll probably get it. Great. So let's go. Let's see what other trades we have going. We can look for a buy on the Euro Oz. I'll explain that one. Euro Oz. We can look for a short-term buy in the Euro Oz because we're expecting this to make it. If it goes fast, we will not get the trade, but this is what we expect it to do. Hi, Vic. I was looking for you to make you a panelist, but I'll do that afterwards. Call me after the thing so I can set you guys up for the panelists. I'll set you up as a co-host, you and Dijon and a few more of you guys. So watch for this, and then we're looking for this trade down, right? Now, if you're wrong about this, we want this trade because if we're wrong about it, it's going to do this, right? You follow? There are two. Let me just explain this to you guys. So these trades are very, very good to take for two reasons. One, if we're right, we get a good trade, and if we're wrong, we get a better trade. Now, that sounds funny to you guys, right? Because we're looking at this as a possibility of making a running flat and then drop and down, right? So we're looking for this buy. What if we were wrong and this is not making a running flat? Let's say this is where the structure ends and they're going back up. Perfect. You want to be wrong in that case, right? That is those cases where you want to be wrong. I don't think we'll be wrong, but hey, if we're wrong, we'll be happy. That's the time when you're happy that you're wrong, right? So let's wait on this trade. We like it. I like it. I like trades like these. When you're right, you make a good profit. When you're wrong, you make more profit, right? The trolls are going to have a nice time. I'm trying to think what they're going to think about all of that. What does this guy do? So right now it's going down. You can see that it's consolidating, but this impulse means we're going to probably see some downside and then the upside. So we're interested in that buy. Keep your eyes on it. I'm going to leave this with a mark for you guys. So let me mark it. That's the Euro Oz. We're interested in that. I'll mark all the ones we're interested in so you can see. Absolutely. If when I'm in a trade like that and it starts to go, I'm like, okay, let me be wrong in that analysis. Just keep going. It doesn't happen very often, but yeah, I'll be happy for that. Right? So let's see what else. Silver is going amazing. See the magic of how you trade when you understand. I want to show you guys this because this is what wave analysis does. It's magical when you understand it. People keep saying like, you know, why you think your analysis work and support and resistance and everything else doesn't work? Because they don't work. Pin bars, but they're wasting your time. Look at the magic. I explained this to you guys in details yesterday. We explained it. We didn't just guess our way. We looked at the pattern and I said, guys, this is what this is doing. If it breaks, I'll close my trade here because I know they're going to come back here. And when they come here, I'm going to buy. When I do a webinar like that, people say, oh, he's only talking about it. Well, here's it. Take a look. We closed it for 800 loss there. And then we reopened the trade. We're 3,000. That's not what I'm trading for. That 3,000 is not what I'm trading for. I made 60,000 in silver, not because of 3,000 trade. Each one was a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 trade, right? That's the magic of understanding the charts. I slept well last night so that you know, right? I slept very well. I sleep very well with no stops on the trades, right? Now what we are looking for. Let's look at the structure. What are we looking for? There are a number of things you can look for here. You either look at this as one, this comes back somewhere here, stop, go down back, come back here, go down back, and then go up. That's one option of how I look at this pattern. The second option is it's a contracting flat in here. This here is a contracting flat, right? This one just comes somewhere here and go back down. I don't think that is going to happen. Now I'm looking at it as a possibility that they're going to probably do this, make this the contracting flat, go back there, come here, and then go. So if they do this, great. Once they come to this level, I am going to monitor it for an exit if I see that pattern developing. Right now, I don't know which of the options they're going to go with, but if that pattern develops, Great, we'll exit the trade here and we'll buy back here. Would I sell it? No, I'm not selling silver. It's just a basic thing. I'm trying not to sell silver. I'm holding, like I saw the sell this morning, but I tried not, keep myself back. Don't sell silver, just buy it. The reason I'm always buying silver and not selling, because if anything goes wrong with silver and they decide to do something really bad about it, the bad is going to be to the upside, not the downside. Because there's limited space to the downside to go. But if they want to move it fast, the best direction they can move it fast is the upside, right? There's not much downside to move it. There's much more upside to move it, right? So that is that's why we're looking for buy. Skype name. Okay, somebody please type my Skype name for that. One of you guys type the Skype name. Somebody's asking for it. If you want to know about the course, you can Skype me. You'll get all the info there. So this works, right? This is how you trade. And one of my traders actually wrote it on Facebook for you. You're going to learn to trade where we don't panic, with zero panic. Most traders, this is one of the things most of the traders who finish the course tells you, hey, now I know what it's doing. I'm not panicking. You're trading out of knowledge, not out of ignorance. When you're trading a pin bar, you're hoping that that pin bar is going to go, but you don't know what the chart in general is doing. You can't read it. You don't have idea what the structure is. You're just hoping that this pin bar works. As one person said, the statistics is that the pin bar will work. Well, I can actually show it will not work. And I will show you why it's not going to work. So we have any other trades. By the way, while I'm talking, if there's any good trade set up there that you want to look at, let's look at them. It's not like we're going to click a trade every minute, right? So we'll have a lot of time between trades while we're putting in entry orders and all of it. So we'll have time to discuss things and talk, right? So this is why those pin bars and all those things and resistance and so on. I'll explain it to you. This is part of my teachings in the class. I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going to give it to you guys. I know I like to give away things. So here is why. And you know, they call it ATR also people like to look at. It's a waste of time. I'll show you why. A trade, the chart will make an impulse, right? New Zealand CAD and Pong Yen. Okay, let me go look at them. I hope you guys are sending me to a good place. Pong Yen. I can see Pong Yen. Nothing is in Pong Yen. New Zealand CAD. I don't have New Zealand CAD open. Let me go look at New Zealand CAD. Pong Yen is not ready. It's breaking the structure. It needs to make a flag. We spoke about that. If you jump in that trade, you'll regret it. Because if you get lucky, it's not good for you. If you don't, okay, good. This is a nice flat. I like this. We're looking for upside in this trade. So you have two options now. One, you can put an entry order here. I can't put an entry order so much New Zealand trade. I already have an entry order in New Zealand yen. So I'll stay away from this one for now. And this could go some more. There's a good chance this is we're looking for this to go up, right? So it could still go more down, right? But you don't have a setup to buy this yet. The only place you can put is buy here. If it comes down more, then you take off the entry order, wait for an impulse, wait for the flag, and then we'll buy. If it goes from here, it could go fast. You might not get a chance to get a good setup to get it. The good setup is going to come way too far. Right? Now, what could move this to the upside? It has a CAD in it, and it has New Zealand. We think New Zealand is going down now. Maybe we're wrong, but we think it's going down. But what could go up very fast? What could make a sudden move to the upside? See? So we're also interested in this trade to the upside. Now, CAD is already at the bottom. So if CAD decides to give you a surprise, the surprise will be to the upside. Right? So if you don't want a New Zealand CAD because New Zealand is kind of going down slowly, then you can come to the CAD and say, okay, let's put an entry in the CAD rather than the New Zealand CAD, right? Let's put an entry in the CAD because if New Zealand CAD is going to move, I think it's going to be the CAD movement, not so much in New Zealand. If New Zealand is going to go up, let's go look at it. If New Zealand is going to go up, well, then this pattern is not complete as yet. You see, they actually pull back here and they make a flat here and then they drop. So this pullback is probably going to make a flat and then drop here and then go back up. Maybe not too far, but like this. So I don't think it's the New Zealand, unless we are looking at a contracting flat, a very small contracting flat. I don't think it's New Zealand that is going to move it. It's mostly, I think, the CAD which is going to move it. If this is going to break out here as a contracting flat, you can only buy above the top. That's the only way you can trade contracting flat. That means we will take it as a loss, right? We can either close it as a break even now or take it as a loss. I would rather take the loss because I don't see a reason to close it for, well, 8 pips. I don't see a reason to close it for 8 pips. I'll rather let it break here, take the loss, and then look for the buy setup. So right now, if it consolidates here, Depends on how long it takes to consolidate. I will either close the trade and for break even and leave it. If it comes back down, I'll get break even, close the trade, wait for it to break, decide whether it's a good risk to reward trade, and then take it. If it's not, then I'll leave it. So you will take a lot of trades that you think are going to go very far, and then they turn out to take too long or they're not going. You'll close them. That's part of trading, right? Yeah, it's a boring process. That is why I like my group, because when I go in, we have a lot of fun in there, right? We know it's a boring process. Give me 1 second. Let me get the lights on. Yeah, I start the webinar and it's bright, and by the time I'm in the middle of the webinar, it's already dark. So it is a boring process. It's not that's why the group is interesting, because we've got some really, really good guys in the group, and you can tell when we go in there, while you're trading, you can have a lot of fun, right? And by the way, those guys are making friendship. I have to charge them extra money for that. They're meeting friends, they're traveling to different countries, meeting people. That's like a meeting group too. So some extra fee I'll have to take for that, right? One second, guys. USD CAD is not doing anything as yet. It's still consolidating. It's still consolidating here. It could come very low, right? So you should not chase anything. This could come very low. This could come here. The big picture is downside. We're in a big consolidation. So I think this consolidation has more to go up. We explained this at the start. Come on, guys. We can't just keep explaining the same chart over and over, right? We explained this at the start. We're expecting it to go down in the big picture, but short term, it's consolidating to the upside. So we only have 1 week here. So we may as well take the short-term trade. So you guys see how I take trades, right? Why we can buy CAD before breakout, goes lower, but not USD CAD. Why you can buy before the breakout? Because you have no setup to break. Based on my strategy, there is no setup to buy there. That's it. Full stop. I have strategies that I use to trade, right? Let me explain again. This is recording. Yesterday didn't record, so bear with me. I'm going to explain it again for those who will be watching the recording. The number one thing you need to know, if you want to be a winning trader, if you want to be a very good trader that is winning money, there are 3 things you need to do. 1, analysis. You need to have very good analysis. The best analysis you have, the better it is for you. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of what analysis you should use. Use whatever you want. Flip a coin if it works for you. For me, the best analysis is wave analysis. It works amazing. It gives me a comfort level. It makes me trade very quiet. It makes me trade without panic. It makes me trade without all kinds of fancy things. I'm relaxed when I'm trading. And I'm relaxed trading a $500,000 account. And I have 3 $500,000 accounts that I'm trading, not 1. Right? I'm just showing you 1. I have 3. So I'm very relaxed when I'm trading. And I plan to do much more than that by the end of this year. So this method works well for me. If anything else works well for you, good. Go ahead. Use it. Number 2, you have to have a strategy when you finish your analysis. The strategy tells you when to go in the trade, when to exit the trade, how to manage the trade. What are the rules in managing your trade? Should you stay in the trade? Should you get out of the trade? Should you add to the trade? Should you just, whatever you want. You should have a set of very fixed rules, what to do with the trade. That is strategy, right? So now you know you have a buy. What is the strategy in buying? We teach you analysis, we teach you strategy, right? Look, Yulia is one of our very good traders. She showed you, she traded 5. We have traders, a lot of traders in our group who trade those kind of accounts, and they do it with relaxed, right? So that is it, right? Right? So number 3, I don't choose the broker. My investors choose their brokers. And I don't tell them what to choose, because if something go wrong with the broker, I don't want to blame. I tell them to choose a broker, give me the code and I'll do it. Right? That's all. Very simple. So let's go. 1, 2, 3. Money management. If you manage your money correct, and I'm gonna say this very good. If you manage your money correct, it doesn't matter how inexperienced you are, or how bad a trader you are. It will take you a very long time to lose your account. You may eventually lose it if you're a bad trader, but it will take you a very long time to lose it. You're not going to lose it so fast. So if you manage it correctly, 1 second, guys, somebody's at the door. This is part of trading. So let me go get the door. I forget the keys. So let me get the keys, get the door. See what I do with my trading? Okay, sorry about that. Part of my trading life, you're seeing it, right? So money management. If you have good money management and you're even the worst trader in the world, you will lose your account, but it will take you a very long time, right? If you have bad money management and you're the best trader in the world, you can lose your account very fast. Very, very, very fast. I've seen traders done that. They lose their account so fast that before you blink, it's gone. And they're not really bad traders. They just have bad money management. See? So that's it. Those are the three factors that you need to know. Beside that, there's a lot of other things you need to know. But those are the three basic stuff that you need to know, right? Now, what is the leading one in there? The leading one is money management is easy. You just need not to overtrade and risk little, that's all. Strategy, well, a bit difficult, but once you have a strategy, it's fixed. It's not a problem. This is your problem. Analysis. Because that one is not fixed. There is no fixed rules to say every time you're going to have this pattern. The pattern changes every time. So you need to learn all the patterns. You need to know all of them. You need to have good guidance in them. You need to practice them well. You need to be perfect in recognizing them. The better you get at all of that, right? That is the most difficult part because that takes a lot of work. That is where all your work is. Because once you have a strategy, you have good money management, that's easy to do. The hardest part is the analysis. And if your analysis is weak, your trading is weak. It's that simple, not difficult. Besides that, there's a lot of things in trading that you need to know, right? So let's go back to what we're doing. We're correcting this. We're expecting it to go down, but we're correcting this move to the upside, as you can see, right? Sorry, let me take that off. And that means this could probably go up some. So we will go for this trade. If it's a short-term trade, we'll take the profit off of it. If it's a long-term trade, we'll see what to do, right? Any book to read for wave analysis. There is no book for wave analysis. And you know why there's no book for wave analysis? Do you know where those two word terminology come from, wave analysis? I started that. It was Elliott Wave Trader. Everybody was Elliott Wave Trader. Every single person who trade called themselves Elliott Wave Trader. When I started studying, I called myself an Elliott Wave Trader until I figure out that my theory, what I found and what I'm doing, how to identify a single wave, differs from Elliott Wave, totally. So I posted a chart in TradingView once and I said, hey, I'm an Elliott Wave. I had myself as Elliott Wave and I posted a chart and it didn't follow the Elliott Wave rules. I totally agreed. And then all the Elliott Wavers came down on me. Like, hey, why you're an Elliott Wavers? Look, you broke this rule, you broke that rule, you broke. I was like, yeah, but that's not how I look at the chart. They said, well, then you're not an Elliott Waver. I was like, okay, I'm a wave trader. That's it. That's how it did. That's how that terminology came. I went into my profile and I changed it to wave trader. Right? And I actually removed Elliott Wave Trader. I didn't change it. And then I started telling everybody I do wave analysis. And then suddenly a lot of trading views start flooding with wave traders. Everybody suddenly became a wave trader the next morning, right? So great, no problem with that. I'm happy that we have a lot of wave traders. But that's how that terminology came about. Wave trader and wave analysis. Because before that, everybody was Elliott Waver. Okay? A lot of the Elliott Wavers came in. There was a big argument on TradingView. So then I decided I'm not going to change. I'm just going to do wave trading, not Elliott Wave. Because we do have different rules. That's true. We differ a lot from Elliott Wave. We acknowledge what he did. We acknowledge the concepts, but we don't necessarily use it that way. So let's go back to trading. How many trades we're in and what the trades are doing. New Zealand is not doing so good. So let's take a look at it and see what we're going to do with it. New Zealand and Euro, because the Euro both came back. So both of them are not going. Let's see if we want to keep them or leave them. No reason to take it off as yet, right? So let me explain this to you. I'm just going details. These are things I'm just, especially if you're a new trader, all it did was 2 candles come up. So why should we panic? 2 candles coming up doesn't mean anything in the chart. You can have 2 candles down now and you can have 2 more candles up and then you get one of that. So that's not enough reason to take off the trade, right? You should not follow those candles. Wait until you see a structural change. 2 candles is not a structural change. If it goes up and take you out, so be it. You take the loss. You put your stop there and you take the loss. That means we have a contracting flat. I'm not expecting it to be a contracting flat, and I don't see anything in it that says it's a contracting flat as yet. So we will leave it as it is, right? We will leave the trade. Let's go to the euro. I'm doing this for you guys. Normally, I just make my decision and move on. I'm going very slow for you guys. Let's go to the euro. What are we looking for in the long term of the euro? We're looking for a very big trade to the downside. So if I'm looking for a very big trade to the downside, why should I mess it? I'll rather take the loss if I have to, but I'm not going to mess with the trade. Because if I take off this trade, or because I'm panicking, because I don't know, I got scared or whatever, and I take this off, and then the next candle does this, put us in a little minus, I will be happy that I took it off. Oh God, thank God I took it off, because look what happened, it went up. And then the next candle does that. And what happens to you now? Think of it. That happened to most of you. What happened to you now? You were just so happy that you took it off in time. Look what, and then it go boom, straight down. And you throw your computer out of the window because it's the computer fault, not yours, right? And then you can't take another trade for a next day or two because you're still worried about all of that, right? That's still bothering you. And then you go pay for a course on psychology, trading psychology. You pay them $500 to teach you trading psychology. There is nothing to learn in trading psychology. Don't mess with your psychology, that's all. The only thing you need to learn is don't do crazy stuff. Learn to analyze the chart, and then your trading psychology is going to be very cool and very nice, and you don't need to pay anybody to make you cool down while you're in front of the computer. They're going to tell you, breathe, and all of that, all kind of crazy stuff they're going to teach you. It will not help you, because if you repeat the same mistakes, the same thing is going to happen to you physiologically. If you keep making the same mistakes, you're going to have the same thing. Just leave the trade alone. You have a stop. Put a stop above here and leave it alone. If there's a structural change, then you make that decision. 2 candles is not a structural change. Very simple. See? So that's it. That's what I'm trying to show you. 2 candles, not anything to worry about. Even if you go back into drawdown, that doesn't mean anything right now. Relax, go get coffee. All of you go get coffee, enjoy yourself. We have a long time here. We'll be for 2-3 hours, and there is no trade on right now. The Swiss franc is breaking. That is why I sold it this morning. Let's see if it's still interesting to us. This darn one. I sold it this morning. I took it off. Small loss. But now the difference is when I sold it this morning, I was expecting this to come down here, right? More of a flat pattern. We broke the top. So we're looking for a running flat pattern. Running flat patterns means you need to get one more impulse like this, and that could be it. They could go up from there. See? If this is the running flat pattern that I see here, and I'm correct about what I see, then it will stop anywhere here and go back up. So we don't have a sell there, right? I don't sell that pattern because there's a possibility of it being a running flat. What if I'm wrong and it's not a running flat, right? Let's say, oh, this thing just falls like this and it's not a running flat. And well, now it could still be an expanding flat, see? And it could still go back up. So what in this structure I need to see that is going to tell me, hey, why aren't you selling it? You should be selling this, right? Just wait for a corrective structure. Let it make an impulse, make a corrective structure. And now you can say to yourself, you know what? This is not a running flat. You got that wrong. Go back, look at the charts again. The previous correction was it. This was the previous correction, right? I think a lot of you are getting really confused right now. Like, what the hell is he saying? He just showed that one as a running flat. Now he's showing this is the previous correction, right? That is why it's difficult. When you understand, when you go through how we do it, how we break up the charts, how we look at the charts, you start understanding how we trade so successfully. It's not about labeling the chart. It's not about putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, W, X, Y, Z, A, B, C. It's not about putting all of that. You could put all that stuff on your chart. It will not make you, you can't trade. It's not a tradable thing. Labeling the charts is not a trade. Understanding how these complex patterns could develop. And the only way you can understand it is if you know every single pattern. One of the things I tell my trader, you have to memorize every single pattern. You have to go back and remember where they were previously. Where did you see a pattern like that? How did it behave? Is it exactly the same thing? What is it doing? And then you understand what it could do. Very simple. For you to understand how this one is going to behave, you need to see how 100 of those exactly ones behave. No, I have a pattern bank in my brain. My traders should have pattern banks. I have one in my brain. I literally memorize. So you wake me up in the middle of the night and you give me a chart. I'll show you all the patterns and label them, and I'll tell you where in other charts those patterns exist. Right? I'll tell you where in the other charts those patterns exist. Right? Guys, if anybody is posting any link, make sure those links are decent and make sure those links are not from anybody else's place. We're not going to, into the webinar, we don't want to use other people's stuff, right? So be careful if you're posting any link, make sure it's something decent. And I'm not opening the links, so I don't know what you post. But just make sure you keep it clean. Avoid posting the links in the first place, right? Because then we'll have to block the chat if somebody comes in and start posting crazy stuff in the links, right? We don't want that to happen. Just so you know, right? It's a kind of a simple warning. The move before, Anna mentioned move before needing the Pound USD, we would look, the move before it's coming down, Pound USD is coming down, there's no move. So the Pound CAD should be going good now. Yes, Pound CAD should be going good. It's in profit now, so let's see. Let's see how far that goes. Let's go to the Pound CAD. Where the hell is the Pound CAD? Right there. Going good, right? So it's going where we want it to go. Now we don't have to worry. Let it go. Let's see. If this comes somewhere around this area here and we see it starts to turn, we'll take off the trade because I think this could be a correction to go back up. Right? It's possible. Not the pattern we're looking at, but if they're going to make one more impulse within this up move, we'll get out. Which time frame to use for day trading? Well, good question. So let me take that question. Which time frame to use for day trading? Depends how much hour in the day you have, but I would not choose a time frame based on whether I'm a day trader or not a day trader. I'll choose a time frame I'm comfortable with. I always tell my traders, know your nature. Choose the time frame you are comfortable with. Like I have traders who cannot keep trade overnight. They just can't do it. They wouldn't sleep in the night if they have a trade going on. Right? So they need to take a trade and get out of the trade. And if they only have 4 hours to trade, they may go to the 15 minutes and trade, which means you have to develop a lot of experience for that. If you're a long-term trader, trade any time frame you want. Wherever you see a good trade, take it. Right? If you're very short-term, if you can keep trade overnight, like I keep all these trades overnight, we kept them, all of them are running still, and I would probably keep some of them till the end of the week. Silver, I'll keep them for months, right? I'm not worried about that. Then doesn't matter. I'm a day trader, basically. I trade every day, right? That's pretty much. It's not like I'm pretty much choosing a trend. I trade in the 50 minutes. I trade in the hourly. I take trades in 4 hours, but those are trades that I'm taking for very, very long term. See? I have a day job. Can I use wave analysis and work sometime? Of course, we have a lot of traders who work. At least 60% of our traders are successful, and about 60% of them are still working at some job or the other, right? Is it volatile? What is volatile? Euro yen making a nice buy setup right now. Let's look at Euro yen for that buy setup. Yeah, there's a nice buy setup. You can actually move this entry order down to this level. If we get a flag here, we'll buy it. Don't buy this. You don't know that it's turning there, right? So if we get a flag here, if this goes up and give us a flag, we'll buy it. Because the structure might be over there. That might be the end of the structure, right? So it could be the end of the structure. So let's see. You can put your entry order there. That's a long way for an entry order. That entry order will only get taken if they really, really go up fast. If they go slow, you can take out the entry order and look for a better setup, basically. Silver is going really good. Amazing, right? You see the magic how it works? That's the power of wave analysis. And that's the power of what we do, the way we look at it. I got out, got in, perfect. This is what we'll teach you to do. See? No guesswork, no pin bars, no support and resistance, no fancy thing. Look at the patterns, identify the patterns, figure out how that pattern behaves, know how to use it and trade it. Making good money in Nifty, congratulations, good work. I like when people make money. I like when people are successful in what they do. Any views on the Mexican? I don't think there's anything there. I don't have it open. I'll check it very fast. We checked that this morning. I think we did this in our webinar this morning. Long term, I think it's downside. Yeah, long-term downside. I remember that. We did this morning and one of my traders asked for this. Long-term downside, short-term, you have to wait for a correction. So don't leave it alone until it corrects. I remember this because we did it this morning. Can you enter the trade in the middle of the flag? You can enter anywhere you want, but you might lose it. That's not a strategy. You can enter anywhere you want, but that's not a strategy. Unless you have a specific strategy you're using to enter in the middle of the flag, then good work for you. I don't have any strategy like that. I don't have one. The strategy I use is either the break of the flag or of a few more other ones. You were saying that the US will tag high, but okay, I missed that. Sorry, there's so many questions, right? The chat is very busy, so I'll miss. I know you were saying that you will tag the high if it breaks the channel, but after last move, you said it's going down. How do you see it now? How do I see the US Turkish lira? Let's see. Oh, I see what you're thinking. We were looking for this. We were looking for this pattern. One, we're looking for this and then downside. That is the pattern we were looking for. That pattern didn't happen. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen. What it means is that you're getting a more complicated pattern. So we're expecting this to drop down here, probably come back a little here, drop there, and make a sharp wave up. I want all of you to take a snapshot of this and keep it. Just take a snapshot and keep it. I'm going to show you 3 of those patterns. Right? Everybody got the snapshot? Let's go. And I'm going to show you one that if you follow me, you saw us do it already. If you were following me, you saw this pattern. Because we did it live for a whole year. I was showing all of you live how that pattern will develop. See? We were showing you from the time we got this sharp move and this one starts to come down, that eventually they will have to go back up and then come down and then go. So right now they came to this level. That might qualify it for the pattern at that level. It only needs to break this low, and they did. So that qualifies it. Let's see if it's going to go back to the top. Or they can still come back here as a 3-wave structure and then go. So the sell is not a bad idea because they can come back as a 3-wave structure and then go. I don't think this one is going to come back. This one is very slow. So I'll just wait for this to drop here. And if it drops to this level and show upside, we'll close the sell and we'll be looking for a buy. Right? See how it works? Simple. That's one. I promise you 3, right? So let me go show you a next one. That is a running flat in the middle of a thing. New Zealand dollar. Oh, I already showed you this one. There's 2 in the New Zealand dollar, but I'll show you the Euro Oz has one. Euro Oz daily. No, not that one, this one. See the sharp move there? See that there? They go there, they come back here, and then they go up. See that pattern? That is a pattern we identified. That pattern was never an Elliott wave. We call it running flat because the Elliott wave running flat says it goes like this. 1, you get a move down, you get a move up, and then you get a move down, and then you go. Running flat and Elliott wave looks like this. Not like that. We could have given that our own name, but because of the respect for what Elliott did, we leave it as an Elliott wave running flat. We call it an extended running flat, right? We call it an extended running flat, right? Because it's a running flat, but because there are 2 different versions, there are about 6 variations of the running flat that we have identified. This is one of them. We call it the extended running flat. Like I said, it's not easy, guys. It's not like you're going to join the group tomorrow and you become successful. Some of you may take a year, some of you may take 6 months, depends on your ability to learn stuff. When I say learn, I mean learn stuff in terms of knowledge, not just a guesswork. If you see a pin bar, you buy or sell or all of that thing. I'm telling you about serious work. You have to study, you have to learn, you have to understand, to identify these patterns and all of that. And once you can do all of that, you're good. You're going to start making money with ease, right? With ease. That's the main thing. You're not going to be panicking when it doesn't do what you want it to do. How do you identify a single wave? Good question. You can learn that in the 6-week course. That's the only place you get to learn that. Right? We're not going to discuss that here. So Euro Oz, we're looking for this to correct. Remember we said, I'm expecting this to correct back up here, and then we can look at this sell. That sell might be amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for the correction. We have got one correction here, they dropped. We're about to make another one. So this one, like I said, we will take this buy. If it does that and come down, great. What if they go break the top again? Better for us. So we're looking for a buy setup here. It's not ready. You don't have any buy setup as it is. But we're looking for a buy setup there. So I happen to read all the messages, and I wouldn't be able to answer to all the messages. There are too many of them. So I've just randomly, whenever I raise my eye, the message is above. When I raise my eye from the chart, whatever I see, that's the one I read. So I'm sorry, my apologies in advance if I didn't answer your question. It's not meant to be that way. I'm not picking any question in specific, right? I asked because crypto act differently and more volatile. Oh, you mean if there's volatility? Everything is counted in the chart. The chart is a sum total of everything that happens. Remember, the chart is real. These are real prices that happen in real time, right? This is not someone's opinion. This is real, right? So everything that happens in the chart is real, which means whether that is because of manipulation, whether it's because of somebody saying something, whether it's normal trading, it doesn't matter what the reason for it to move. Don't look for the reason. You will never find it. People who say they know why this move, oh, this move because this person is talking, or it's BS. I've shown it many times. I've shown that then when you have non-farm payroll positive, the chart goes the opposite direction. We looked at it. We traded the opposite direction. And you know what they said? They said, oh, yeah, well, the news is positive. The sentiment is negative. How are you going to know when the sentiment is going to be positive or negative? It's like a guesswork, right? That's it. It's a guesswork. But you know what you can't guess? You can't guess two moves at the same time. You can guess up or down and you might be right, but you cannot guess that this is going to go from here to there and then come back here and then go there. It's hard to guess 3 or 4 moves if you don't look for specific patterns. You can guess, hey, I think it's going to go up and you could be 50% right. You can guess, hey, it's going to go down and you'll be 50% right because that's the probability there. But try doing 3 moves and getting all 3 correct. Try guessing that. And that's what we teach you to do. We teach you to look at the patterns with numerous moves in it, not one. Silver is the next example. Let me don't use New Zealand alone. Silver is the next example. Close your trade there, buy back here, and then watch it go. That's not just it's going to go up or it's going to go down. It's going to come down and it's going to go back up. And very likely from here, it could come back down and it could go back up. You see? It's not just, this cannot be a guesswork because it's not one direction. It's 3, 4 different directions we're looking at the same time. How it's going to behave in each spot. When it gets to a certain area, what it could probably do, what pattern you're looking at, what pattern is developing right now. Is that pattern changing? All of those stuff. See? So you can't guess this. This is not going to work for you if you try to guess your way. You have to learn it. Is that simple? So let's see what the account is doing. Silver is doing good. Why did that close? Oh, they closed the silver loss trade. That trade was the one I closed this morning. They closed that trade already. So we're left with this silver trade. I wonder what happened. Why did it disappear? They closed it. Individuals are not currently available. So they just removed that one. That's gone into... Yeah, so we're left with the silver here. We're left with the only one that is not positive is the New Zealand. I still think we're not doing anything with it as yet. We'll leave it. Punkat is going good. We'll leave that too. We leave the euro. The euro came back. The euro was very positive. It's coming back. We leave it. As for now, we'll still leave it. If I close those trades tomorrow, I'll show you why I closed them. How many roughly patterns there are? It's not just how many patterns there is. How many variations of those patterns there are. So you have like running flats and you have about 6, 7 variations of it. You have triangles and you have, I don't know, you have 6 variations of triangles, 1, 2, 3. You have probably about 3 variations of triangle. You have contracting, let's say 2, contracting, expanding triangle, but you have so many variations of those, each one of them. And then beside that, you also have how each one could change and behave. So it's not just knowing the patterns. I think you guys are you're getting a very small, a very narrow idea of what pattern trading is. It's much more complex. The reason we have a 6 weeks course is because it's complex. It's not a 1-day course or a 2-hour course or buy one video thing. And then we keep you there for a whole year, for forever if you want to stay. But you keep learning all the time for a whole year and all of that, right? So it's just not as simple as you might think. But hey, is it doable? 60% of my traders are making money. Yulia is right just here telling me she's trading a $500,000 account, and she is successful. Right? We have a lot of traders like that. One guy posts, I can't show you, but he posted his account in this morning. Isaac posted his account in the morning, show everybody how much money he made in the room, in the chat room. I don't have his permission to show you, so I can't show you his account. But I saw it, and everybody in the room saw it. You don't have, you wish, okay. Well, you'll get it very soon because you can do it. Isaac posted, where is it? Oh, sir. $19,000 profit. Is that correct? Am I looking at a profit there, or is that the total? See? So you can do it. It's doable. It's not impossible. Let's go. Where are the other trades? Let's see more trades. I'm going to take one or two more trades. If we get silver, is going really nice. Love it. Right? Guys, you're going to be successful if you join the course group. Oh, yeah, great. Oh, you're in the group. Thanks. I thought it was somebody typing something. I didn't realize. I didn't watch it. Thank you. Let's go. What else we're looking for? Look why the Euro Swiss, right? The Euro Swiss, somebody was saying if you can sell inside of the flag. So let me show you why you don't sell inside of the flag. So this is a flag that should break. You see what happened? You sell inside, it keeps going up, and then take you out for like 6 losses before it breaks. See? You can think about 6 losses trying to sell in the middle of the flag. And then when the flag eventually goes, or when the correction actually starts going, you're no longer in the trade. So don't do that. Let me see what other messages. New Zealand CAD making flag for upside. Let's see, New Zealand CAD. I think we looked at that already. I don't see any flag there. Let me see. New Zealand CAD. Oh, on the 15-minute. No, I don't like to take a flag in the 15 minutes. That's not a flag as yet. That's just one candle. Go into 1 hour, that's a candle. So leave it alone. Don't put a flag on it. If you take that trade, you're putting yourself at big risk. Because nobody says this cannot go down some more before it goes back up. It will go back up, but it could go down more. You don't know how much more it could go, right? Could it be an expanding? It could be an expanding trend. So it's too early. Don't get it in a 15 minutes. Doesn't make sense. It has to break the trend line. Silver is near the trend line. I'm expecting it to break out. Okay, let me see. The best way to manage, the reason I'm managing under the account, the investor name is because I don't have a company to manage accounts yet. We're planning on setting up one, but we will need at least about $10-15 million. I don't have that as yet. When I do have that much, we'll do it. So right now I'm just managing it under their name, but we do it legally. I have a power of attorney from them. So right now Saxo knows I'm managing this account on a legal power of attorney. You don't want to do anything else. You want to do it quite clear and quite legal, especially if you're managing a big account. Where to learn about pattern that you're talking about? Okay, so we have everybody in. Now that you asked the question, I asked for 5 minutes from you guys at the start to tell people about what we do in our room. So let me see if I can show you very fast. Isaac is in. I think you wouldn't be too hurt if your account pop up, because I'm going to show them the Slack group, right? This is our Slack group. If you look at this is Isaac Profit. Let me just take it out. This is the Slack group. We have everything here: general chat, commodities, charts by traders. Don't miss it. Options, a lot of things that we do here, private messages and everything, including London webinar. This is where all the webinars are posted. All the London webinars daily that I do. Basically, that when you join, you get into that group, and everything is, your life is set. If you really want to be a serious trader. So how do you get in that group? It's easy. Send me a Skype message. MANGAL 457. When you do that, I will send you an automatic message, which means I will send you a pre-recorded, kind of message. You will get that message, and everybody who add me to Skype gets that message automatically. It's telling you about the course, basically. And then if you want to take, you don't have to, you can ignore that message. If you're interested in the course, then you reply to it. right? So once you add me to Skype, Mangal457, you will get that message, and then from there it's easy to work. That's all. That's all you need to know, right? Nothing else. Just add me to Skype, and the rest is we will do directly. Do I accept Bitcoin as a payment? Not Bitcoin, but we can take another coin. Not, I will not take it. One of my trader will accept it, and he will pay me cash. I think he's using another one. I'll tell you which one he's using. I don't know. Right? So let's go. Can I explain why ATR doesn't work? So yes, I was going to explain to you guys why ATR is a waste of time. So what is an ATR? Average true rate, right? What does it do? It takes a range of time, right? So you have to go time, you have to take a range of time, and then they will tell you how much the market moves within that range. You can do it daily, hourly, doesn't matter, right? So it takes a range of time. So let's say you're looking at the average true range in this period, right? Let me take this period here, right? So everybody can see that, right? Let me use a different color. I don't know what color will show up. Pink will show up here. Yes, pink will show up. So you're looking at this range of period, and you're here, and you're looking at the average true range of that move. And let's say, we can count it. Let's just not guess. Let's say it's this. The average true range for that period, let's say it's 57 pips. I take the biggest one. It should be about 40 pips to 30 pips if you take the smaller ones inside, right? So you were going to have an average true range. You're going to say, oh, this chart doesn't move. It only moves 30 pips per day, right? So why worry with it? We're in a day chart, right? No, we're in the 60 minutes. So, 60 minutes, it works 30 for this is about how much days. Let's see how many days it is. I'll take the whole consolidation from here to here. That's 11 days. So you go and you put the 10-day ATR and you get, hey, this thing is moving 30 pips per day. So you're like, well, I'll ignore it. And you're right here. And you get a flag here. So let's say you took the flag and it drops 30 pips. What do? You took your profit because that's the average true range of the day. Right? So you take your 30 pips and you're happy. You manage to get out to the average true range and you miss all of this. You understand the difference? By the time you realize that chart is making an impulse that is moving like a rocket, well, rocket goes up, this goes down. We'll have to find something that goes down like a submarine. By the time you realize it's going down like a submarine, you're supposed to get all of this. It's too late. And by the time you're at the bottom here, let's take that same period again. The average true range goes to 120 pips now. So what do? You're like, oh, this thing is moving. So you come right into it now, and you find yourself set up somewhere here, and you're stuck in that sideways move for the rest of your life until you get tired and take about 6 losses because you're not getting 110 pips movement anymore. You're back into the consolidation. You understand where you're going to be missing everything. You're going to totally confuse yourself if you do that because the chart is not something that you can use like that. It moves in impulses and consolidation. So if you understand the principles of impulses and consolidation and patterns, if you understand the principles, you don't need average rate because when you're at the top here and you're looking for this thing to come here. When you take that sell, you're looking for an impulse down to the bottom there. That's what you're looking for. Right, that is what you're looking for. You're looking for that big move, not the 30 pip that they told you it moved per day. Right? Because that 30 pip is misleading. In terms of trading, it's misleading. In terms of basic mathematics, yes, it's right. It's correct. They're taking an average for 10 days, but it will not help you in your trading. It will mislead you in your trading. I was looking at a webinar because I was on Facebook and this thing popped up and this guy was talking about this 200-day moving average. And he said, you see how it held, how the chart bounced off it, everything? It holds the chart. And he's explaining why this thing is so important. It's holding the chart. I was like, no, it's not holding anything in the chart. It's insignificant. It's not holding anything. The chart is making corrections, so it's going to bounce off of any average you put, like I showed yesterday. You see, these are basic things you have to question, right? You have to question these things. The idea of trading is to gain knowledge, not to gain a set of rubbish in your trading. You have to gain knowledge. Knowledge means questioning and testing everything you see. If you're not doing that, you're wasting your time. You're not learning. To learn, you have to practice, you have to test, you have to question, you have to retest. You have to doubt what you're doing, and then until it proves itself correct. That's the whole point. That's how we work in our group, right? We keep testing something. Someone comes up with something and says, hey, I think this might work. We go, let's test it. Let's go proof that it's working. Let's go full profit. Let's take 100, let's take 1,000 and test it. Is it working? No, then throw it away. It's working. How can we put it in? Can we build a strategy around it? If something is working, then can you build a strategy around it? If you can build a strategy around it, bingo, you got something. Most times, it's a waste of time. What strategy would you bring around the 200? Most times it's break the moving average and go back up or pass through the moving average like there's nothing there because you're drawing a line and you're hoping, and moving averages are very lagging, right? It's pretty much like the ATR. It's going to mislead you. How do I handle my trade during news? We actually trade during the news. I just can't show you that in this room because we don't do that. We have a specific strategy to trade in the news. And I personally go in the room to trade every time during the news event. Every news event, I'm personally in the room to trade. Right, that's basically what we do. So, 1 second, if you give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. Why is this thing moving so crazy? 1 second. People are coming in the room or they're good. Give me 1 minute. Let me just get this thing done. This thing is moving so crazy, I can't even catch it. People just keep coming in, right? Okay, good, done. Sorry about that. Just had to finish something here. USD CAD re-entry for coming, let's see. No, it's going down. There's nothing to do in it. Like I said, if it go down, we're not interested, but my punk CAD is moving good. So at least that's a good help. CAD is falling, punk CAD is going good. Euro is going up, and New Zealand is going up. So let's go look at those two. Let's look at punk CAD first. Punk CAD going good, so we'll leave that. Let's go look at Euro and if there's any change. Nope, just going up, no change. New Zealand is just going up. That's not a reason to exit the trade. New Zealand just going up, not a reason to exit the trade. Again, if you exit your trade there, you're actually spoiling your strategy because you have to have very strict rules. Based on my strategy, I cannot exit the trade as yet. There is no structural change as yet to exit, right? If I have to take the loss, you have to take it, but you have to based on the strategy and what it tells you. There is no structural change. Let's go look at dollar CAD. Dollar CAD coming down, let it come down. I actually am pretty good that it's coming down because it's helping the pound CAD, but this is not, we don't have a sell setup here, right? This is a correction, so you're not selling. Let them come. If they break out of this structure, then we look for a sell. Break out of here, go back up, then we look for a sell, right? There is no sell setup here. You sell right now, you'll regret it because very often it's going to turn from here and go right back up. Let's see, what else? Okay, there's so much chat, guys. I'm really missing a lot. What advice would you give to young self? Oh, study, learn, get yourself a good mentor, because I paid $5,000 for a mentor and I learned support and resistance. I threw that away within 6 months, right? Get yourself that. And don't trade for a whole year. I actually didn't trade for 2 years while I was studying. I had a $1,000 account and I hardly traded. I ended up losing it, I think, somewhere around the third year, right? While I was studying, I ended up losing it then. But it's useless. It didn't bother me. It's just that the guy who was teaching us support and resistance, he even told us we'll lose the first account, which we lose. But I lose it it took very long to do because I was trading like one micro just to learn. So the more you learn, the more you understand these things. You have to just keep working in it. And I put like 10, 12 hours a day when I was studying for 2 years. So pretty much you can see. That's what I did. So not much I can go back to. What minimum capital should I have to trade with my course? It's not that you have to have a minimum capital to trade with my course, but we want to make sure. Here's the thing. If you have just enough money for the course, you should not take the course because what would you trade with when you finish the course, right? There will be nothing for you to trade with. If you have only $5,000 as your savings and that's your life savings, I would never advise you to go into trading with that money. The reason I put that barrier there is to prevent people from spending their last money into trading because it will take you a good while before you become a successful trader. If you become a successful trader, it will take you a long while. And if you're going to spend your very last sum of money with a wish hope that you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow and then all of this is going to happen and then, things and you're going to make a lot of money and then because a lot of people sell that crap out there, telling you that, giving you that hope. And then when it doesn't happen, you become broken. You become a broken person. You no longer can trade. You're distressed. You can't, you're losing some of your hard-earned money. Trading is for people who have excess capital. Now, if you have a small account that you want to learn on and then look for investors, that's a different story, right? You can take a $500 or $2 just to learn on that, right? Taking one micro trades. Actually, there was one guy who wrote me a letter and he said, I want to take your course. He's a university student. I'm taking your course just because I want to learn to trade because I'm going to work for one of these companies. And he actually got the job. He did it and he got a job. He got a job not because of my course, but because of his qualification that he had. But he told them he took my course and I sent him a recommendation. And then he came back to our group and he did a webinar for our students, telling them what patterns he's trading. He is actually trading patterns there. He showed them what he learned in my group and what he's trading there. I haven't heard from him for a long while. I think he should be pretty successful because he got a very nice job that he was looking for, right? So how much money do you need? Your call. But I appreciate if you have money. I don't want you to come and lose your last money and, or pay for a course in the last money you have. I don't want it. I'll prefer you don't take the course. Watch my free webinars and learn if that can help you. Right? So the idea is not really to sell you the course. The idea is to help you. So if you the free webinars, if you don't have enough money, don't worry. Just learn from the free webinars, learn from what I'm telling you all. All this is education I'm giving you here, right? Learn from all this stuff. It might take you a little longer, but what's the big deal? The idea of not only, when you go into the room, it's not only the course you're getting and the knowledge and everything else. Like I said, you're with 100, 200 really, really good traders that are very, very active. We have about 800 people, but 200 are very active. So you're in a good group of people go to different, every time I go to a country, I meet a lot of people who I become very friendly with, very good friends. So all of that is part of what you get. You get much more than you can ever pay for. That's it. Have you tested your method with stocks? Oh, we have a lot of traders who trade stocks. If some a little advanced in the webinar, so we're learning a lot. Advanced in the webinar, I'm not sure what you mean by giving something advanced. I'm already giving a lot of knowledge here. Give some, that's it. Volume can help a lot in stock. I don't trade stock a lot personally, so I don't know. I can't make a comment on that. That is something for my traders who trade stocks. Right? So I don't personally trade a lot of stocks. Let's go. What else? Let's see what the account is doing. It's going good. Silver is doing well. New Zealand and Euro is not doing so good, but no need to worry about that. We'll look after that later on. Let's go. So it's already 6:55, 7. We have like 5 more minutes. We're here for 2 hours. You guys are probably tired already. YouTube, I don't know if YouTube is going to put that video out for 2 hours. It's a very long time. So in the last 5 minutes, I want to thank all of you for coming. Tomorrow you can bring a friend. If all of you bring a friend, we'll have, I don't know how many people in YouTube. We have 326 in here. How much in YouTube? Anybody can check what's the number in YouTube? So if everybody brings a friend, we will get much more people in the group tomorrow, right? Anybody see how many people are on YouTube right now? Send me a message if you go. 258. So we have about 600 people in total. 600 plus minus in and out. Let's put it that way. People are coming out of it, right? So let's make it 1,200 tomorrow. Every one of you must know a trader friend who is not here. Bring him, let him learn. There's something weird. As it comes closer to the end, it's going to get much more interesting. I promise you that, right? So welcome, come watch how I trade. See, I'm open to you guys, right? You asked me to open, I'm open up. You're seeing what I do, right? This is what you should demand, by the way, from all your signal traders, signal service people. Tell them to show you the account. All right, so let's go. So, okay, guys. Tomorrow, bring a friend and we'll have 1,000 people in the room. Let's make that a thing. Let's bring everybody in. There are about 1 million people out there who haven't seen my wave analysis yet. Hope they can all see it. Thank you very much for coming. Tomorrow we will start with the account again and then we'll go. I think we had a very great, nice time today. I'm pretty happy. It was very nice. I kicked out the one person who was trying to be a nuisance. I hope he's blocked for good. He will probably use another name to come in tomorrow. He will come. So I'll see all of you. Have a great evening. Trade well, trade with care. Take care, don't rush. Everything is nice. And I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you with a friend. Take care. Bye-bye. Help share the link, please. This video is on YouTube. So you guys can go there, make your comments, like it, if you like it, of course, and then we'll go. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.